Collectors Show, Hillside, Illinois. It's a show that they have, oh, maybe 3 times a year, I think. I haven't been there for a couple years, but the last time I was there, the last several times I was there, I came away with some pretty cool stuff. When I went to the flea market and the record store a week or so ago, I didn't bring the camera in with me, but at least one person, Punk Texas, how you doing there? Kind of got on my case for that a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can work up the bravado to pull this camera out inside the record show and take a look around. It's kind of neat. It's kind of a neat thing to see for those of us that are record collectors and have been to record shows before. It's just kind of neat to realize with a room full of people going through albums and just really excited about all that kind of stuff. It's nice to know that this culture is still very much alive. And for anybody out there who hasn't been to a record show before, it's definitely a neat thing to see. Definitely something that you want to try and get yourself to at some point.
Oh yeah, what's your name? And I said, what's your name? Well, you go back to like hey, you come back down here one day?
Alright, 4.5 hours later, I have 2 rules of thumb for vinyl junkies wanting to go to record shows. Good ones, anyway. One rule of thumb is that you're going to spend too much time. The other rule of thumb is that you're going to spend too much money. And if you've ever been to a decent record show, you know that's true. But for any of you guys out there that haven't and you want to go to a record show, well, however much time you think you're going to need, plan for twice that amount of time, and however much money you think you're going to spend, at least twice that amount of money. And you'll be fine. I don't know, at least especially if you're somebody who loves digging through the crates like I do, looking for that odd little gem here and there. I did manage to find quite a bit, and I better stop talking because if I want to make this a relatively succinct video, I want time to show you the records. So, alright, I shall sign off here. Get myself home and show you some records. Well, alright, I'm back and I've got the records sorted out, and I think I'm going to end up making a couple videos out of this. I ended up with more that I want to show you than I really want to fit in on one video. I don't like making 18, 20, 25-minute videos. So, anyway, here we go. I'll shut up. First record, I already own a copy of this record. It's Paul Simon's Graceland. Definitely an album that I love. It's an album that I recorded with some musicians from South Africa. I really, really love this record. It's an excellent record to test out a stereo system and just an enjoyable piece of music altogether. Kate Bush's Never Forever. Like I said, I already own a copy of this one as well, but anytime I can find a decent Kate Bush record in really good shape, I tend to pick it up anyway. Not bad to have backups. Bruce Springsteen's Darkness on the Edge of Town. I own a copy of this one already as well, but I think this is Springsteen's best work right here. It's So not bad to have another really clean copy of that. This one I own, but only on CD. This is Luca Bloom. Luca Bloom is the younger brother of Christy Moore, the Irish singer-songwriter. Luca is also a singer-songwriter, not quite as Irish sounding, although it's definitely there. I think this is his first record, Riverside. I've owned this on CD for quite a while and loved it, so I was kind of pleased to find that one on vinyl. This one, a little bit of a story here. I went to some booths. I went to a booth, and there were a bunch of guys standing around these boxes that had $1 records and $2 records in them, and they were going through, and it was elbow to elbow people. And I thought, all right, well, I'll go on and I'll look at other things and I'll come back. And then I came back, and there was still a lot of people looking through these bins. And I left again, and then I came back again, and there was still a lot of people there. So I thought, wow, this guy must have some really good stuff for $1 or $2 if this is just packed with people. And so finally, maybe, after an hour or two, I came back, and there weren't that many people there, so I started going through the guy's bins, figuring at that point things are going to be pretty well picked over. And maybe they were, but I actually found something that every single one of those people left behind, and I'm really thrilled to have it in my collection. This is Billy Bragg's Workers' Playtime. This is an excellent Billy Bragg album, and I did not own it on CD or on vinyl. And I'm just really thrilled to have this in the collection. And really thrilled that those guys that were digging through those crates before I got there left it behind. Artful Dodger, Babes on Broadway. I don't know if anybody knows Artful Dodger. They were a band that was popular in the Cleveland area where I grew up in the 70s. And I own all of their other albums, but I have never seen a copy of their first one, Babes on Broadway. So I was kind of thrilled to find that one at the show. Speaking of Cleveland bands, Jonah Coslin's Breathless. It's Jonah Coslin right there. And this is a band from the Cleveland area. Jonah was a member of the Michael Stanley Band for a while. Not sure anybody outside of the Cleveland area is going to know Breathless, but it's a good record, and I wanted to have it for quite a while. This one I know nothing about, other than it's an album recorded in the early 70s in Germany, in Cologne, Germany. All three members of the band are named Hans. The band is called Triumvirate, and this is called Mediterranean Tales, subtitled Across the Water. I picked this up because it had a cool cover, this antique map business going on, so I thought that was pretty neat. If anybody knows anything at all about Triumvirate or this album, I would love to hear about it. Lone Rhino from Adrian Belew. This is an Adrian Belew album from the early 80s. I think this was before he got into King Crimson. I really like Adrian Belew, both in King Crimson. He was also a member of Zappa's band for a while. I really like his stuff, so it was neat to find a solo album by him. Speaking of Adrian Belew, first record from the Bears. I think this was his post-King Crimson project. There's Adrian right there, caricatures of different members of the band. I have to say that when I saw this record, it made me smile, not only because I've wanted the record, but among those caricatures on the front of the album, and I mean no offense by this whatsoever, Big Star 1000, if you're out there watching, that reminded me so much of you. I don't know if it's in the eyes or what it is, but when I saw this guy right here, I thought, man, that looks like Big Star 1000. So I don't know if you were ever a member of Adrian Belew's band, but that's kind of cool. Another Bears album, Rise and Shine. Marianne Faithfull, 12-inch single for Broken English. Why'd You Do It on the B-side. Really like Marianne Faithfull. Speaking of which, Marianne Faithfull's Strange Weather. Album of hers from the late 80s. Really pleased to find a copy of that one. And then last but not least, Horace Andy, Good Vibes. This is a reissue sort of compilation put out on the Blood and Fire label. Blood and Fire put out an awful lot of really, really great reissues and compilations of classic 70s reggae. This one right here, Horace Andy. Horace Andy's a singer. You may recognize him from Massive Attack, if you listen to Massive Attack at all. He was actually a member of Massive Attack for a while, sort of recruited out of the mists of legacy to become a member of Massive Attack for a time. But anyway, this is a double record set, 180 gram vinyl. It's not a gatefold, unfortunately. This is the most expensive thing I bought at the show, and this was $10, so I figured that was a pretty good deal. Alright, well, that's that, and I will get to some other records in a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that I made this thing relatively succinct, and I'll talk to you later. If you have a comment, feel free to leave it. If you've got any information about Triumvirate, I would love to hear it. Actually, you want to make a comment about any of those records, I'd love to hear that as well. Feel free to subscribe, and I will see you later.